Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to PatFacts. Patrick here. Pat on your back, personal fitness. PatFacts, where you take a little deeper dive into just some complementary type things that really assist us in the gym and in the strength training in our classes. Again, as I mentioned this morning, those that are with me for Full Body Friday, my goal for you is to be operationally fit to fight the daily battles that life throws your way. So it's not just fitness. There's mental components. There's a whole variety of things we need to keep in mind. And here on PatFacts, we try to have some discussions surrounding some of those areas to kind of give you an overall better picture of what we're doing, maybe why we're doing some of the things we're doing, and also to kind of help you understand where we're going and to, again, just facilitate what we're looking at in the gym so that you can maybe be more aware of what's going on, different changes that are occurring, different improvements that you're making. Again, maybe it's something you can't really measure, but because of your awareness and us talking about it, hopefully you'll see it and recognize it and give yourself that acknowledgement that you deserve. So I haven't been on this week. I decided to scale back a little bit, give you some from the vaults. Hey, Janice, give you a few kind of best of editions or from the vault editions, just to kind of recalibrate a little bit myself and get a few things looked after. And there were some messages that, again, I felt were worth repeating. The teamwork one, we definitely still need to be a team here, getting through this pandemic and moving forward, making sure people are reminded of that and familiar with that. So that's why I shared that one on Wednesday. And I've shared, I think, a clip from Brendan Burchard earlier this week as well. So again, scaled back a little bit, but tonight that means we've got a jam-packed kind of episode, a couple things I want to get through this week to head into next as they kind of tie into this week. So I want to make sure we get through that. So first of all, first one for those that have been with us, our No Chip Challenge. I started in March. A few of you joined me in April on that, and I added another month to my challenge. Just checking in to let you know that as of May 5th, I decided to end my No Chip Challenge and have a few chips. It was Cinco de Mayo at work. We had some tortillas and things, and I thought, you know what, it's been 2 months. I can have a few chips here at work. They're there. They won't be home with me to overindulge. I was on a break, so I decided that 2 months was good for me to not have to go with no chips, which is very hard for me if you know me. So I decided to have a couple, which I did. They were good. Again, tortillas, so not too bad. They had some healthier options there as well because we have a natural food section in our store. So I was able to make some good choices, have some guacamole with them as well. So try to counterbalance it a little bit. But 2 months and 4 days, I guess 4.5 days, I went with no chips. And again, for me, that's a really big deal. So and I haven't had any since. So we're just a couple of days later, removed from that. But again, I haven't had any, it didn't take me back down that slope of overindulging like I had thought I might. So my plan now is to sort of make a rule around it. If I'm going to have some, I want to set certain parameters. Maybe it's 1 day a week or 1 day a month or a certain event. If I'm going to be watching a sporting event or something, then I'll bring those, maybe give myself those parameters. So again, I don't overdo it. I can enjoy them once in a while when I want to, but not overdoing it, which was getting to be the problem. It was just too easy to grab some on the way home from work and have them here and just kind of munch away on them. So again, 2 months and 4 days of no chips. So we've stopped it now officially. Those of you that are still going on, again, feel free to continue on. Again, some of us took things away to challenge ourselves. Some of us just try to implement more of the good stuff, which typically is how, if you've been with us, how I would recommend most clients would do that. Again, I just decided to challenge myself. It was mentioned by a mentor of mine, Todd Durkin. He was giving up something as a little challenge, just to make ourselves a little stronger, to go through something and to show we can deal with it. And that's why I decided to do it. And again, a couple others joined in with me. So thanks to those who joined in. Please feel free to continue on and let us know how it's going, and stay tuned for the next challenge. Maybe we'll, again, try something, take away something, or maybe we'll go the preferred route like some of you did and try to incorporate more good good things into our lives, as opposed to restricting, because typically that could be when we get into those cravings and overindulge if we give into them. So, but thanks to all those who did join in April. Thanks to Lori, if you're tuning in, she was the first one to hop on and say, oh, if you do it in April too, I'll join you. And then Bonnie joined in. Mel again added some stuff. We had Gretchen on, who was trying to reduce her coffee. I have people who weren't officially in the challenge, but have gone 70 days with no alcohol. I have a post someone sent me that I read a couple weeks ago, but I'm not sure if everybody was here. You know what? I'm just going to bring it up really quick because it was really inspiring. See if I can do it. Oh, I guess I can't because I'm on Twitch live. So, but basically, I get a note from a colleague of mine, asked to be anonymous, and basically he gave up booze when the pandemic started, and at the time he was leading meetings for people with groups up to 150 people who were also trying to give up booze. And hey, Bonnie, good stuff. Welcome, Bonnie. Says no chips yet. Yikes. I know, right? It's tough. Good job though. That's great. And again, I wasn't, for me, it wasn't a big kind of cave and a sadness about it. I just thought, yeah, 2 months was pretty good. Just challenged myself, and now I'm going to get it. But good for you. No chips yet. That's great stuff. Luckily, you're quite a ways away, so I don't have to deal with any violent outbursts or anything from you not having chips. But good for you, Bonnie. Great job. Keep it going. And are you going to go another month, do you think? Are you going to extend it? What's your plan going forward? But again, back to my friend here. Again, he said he was leading online meetings of 150 people trying to do the same thing. And I'm sure you've heard there's been different kind of reports or that abuse of certain substances did go up a little bit during the pandemic because we're home. There's nothing really to maybe do. We can't get out and do the things we usually do. I know for some of us, on Twitch, watching the DJs a lot. We're treating it like a night out at a club or a bar, having a few drinks while they danced around. And eventually they kind of say, you know what, I got to stop that because it's 2 nights a week. And then there's DJs almost every night on there. So you could really create quite a bad habit if you partook in that. So a lot kind of flex that self-control. And again, to hear that from my friend to say that he had created that kind of group and that community. So not only helping himself by cutting back and being a little healthier, making better choices, but helping 150 other people, which was amazing. So again, kudos to you and thank you so much for sharing that with me and allowing me to share it with everybody here. So I'm sorry I don't have it word for word, but again, I can't get on to the message because I'm streaming to Twitch now through StreamYard. So but I think of things like that, of ways you can, again, either reduce something that's a little negative or add something that's a little more positive. And then we kind of did it here. We created a support group a little bit. There was 3 or 4 of us the second month for me, where we were able to chat with each other. We weren't able to maybe stay in touch as much as we had originally planned, just because of our schedules and some of my broadcasting schedules and things. But again, we had little check-ins every so often to see how we're doing. Bonnie says she's going to go another month. Great stuff, Bonnie. Good for you. Another month with no chips, so we'll see how cheerful Bonnie is next month. But good for you, Bonnie. That's awesome. Good to see. So again, typically I'd recommend add more good things, but every so often, if you think it's there, you could challenge yourself a little bit. Maybe it's not a month, maybe it's a week, maybe it's a few days, maybe it's challenging yourself to scale back something. Maybe it's challenging yourself again, like we said, to introduce more things. So maybe instead of not eating chips, maybe you introduce trying to eat more vegetables. Have some pre-cut vegetables ready to snack on after dinner as a dessert or while you're watching a movie or a stream or something. Again, try to know you. We want to learn about ourselves during this time and learn what works for us. And then we can implement some of that stuff and change what we need to as we're going, and make it specific for us to find what works. We've talked a few weeks ago about what works for you and learning from these challenges and these experiences to know what works for us and to know what doesn't work, so that as we go further down the line and try to do other challenges, maybe they're work challenges or personal development or exercise habits or anything, we kind of know what works and what doesn't, so we can try to plan around that or plan a strategy that kind of fits that for us. And Bonnie says she won't be Mary. Thanks for the warning, Bonnie. Again, good for you though. We're good to go for that for 3 months. I bet you can do it, no problem. We'll just, again, luckily we can keep a safe a safe distance from everybody right now. So that's the first thing. So again, thanks to all those who took part and encouraged me to do that second month. It was good to flush things out and be away from them a little bit and to kind of get past sort of that. It was a habit really of just grabbing them and munching on them as I was watching TV or doing a stream or even doing some work. It's a habit I had in university where I would just kind of nibble on things as I did some homework and things. So I was trying to kind of go back to that just to get into a bit of a workflow. But again, the choices just weren't really great. So we decided to scale that back and had a good 2 months. So we'll see how far we go until the next bag of chips or a bowl of chips. Again, I want to create those kind of parameters, those rules first before I really get back into it, and then be very specific of when I can and cannot have some chips. Maybe a certain kind, if I can find a kind. I know there's some Kettle brand chips and things that typically are maybe just a little bit healthier than the Doritos and regular potato chips. So maybe something like that. And again, some kind of parameter of once a week or every so often when something's going on, maybe that'll be my chance to have a chip or two. The second thing I wanted to talk about, what was it? Earlier this week, it was Tuesday, was May the 4th, Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. A great day. It was Tuesday. I was at work. So Tuesday was May the 4th day, Star Wars Day, a fun day for me. I have some friends who typically every year, I'm not sure if she did this year, I didn't see, but I have a couple who take the day off, take some vacation, and they kind of marathon through a bunch of the movies. Now that there's 9, 10, 11 or 12, it's going to be pretty tough to do that maybe, but they try to make kind of a weekend of it or a couple of days of it, depending on where it falls. So that's on a bit of a bucket list for me to do that sometime. But I think what I want to talk about was how, even though it's a movie or movies, I should say, series and spin-offs and everything, and it's make-believe, the messaging in it is very good. And that's one of the things I really like about it. I can really get into the messaging of the force and the dark side and the balance, because it relates to everyday life if you think of it. So hearing the force is the energy that's all around us. It's what makes me and you and the walls behind me and the trees and all this stuff. There's an energy around. And if you listen to high performers, and experts, there's an energy around us. There's vibrations that we give off. If we're giving negative thoughts, it's a different kind of vibration. If it's a positive thought, it gives a better vibration. And that gets into the laws of attraction and The Secret and all that sort of stuff, if you've heard of any of those before. So it kind of has that similar setup to it, again, of having everything's energy, basically. Energy that binds us together. And what they're always trying to find, though it's tricky, is kind of a balance between light and dark, the force and the dark side. The dark side is the force. It's just with poor choices behind it. And I just watched a video a few moments ago before I came live of George Lucas, the creator, explaining the force and how it worked. And I wanted to bring it on and share it. I may another time if I can figure out how to do it, but I figured I would get cut off for copyright for sharing the video. But basically, if you look at it, it's life. It's good and evil, light and dark. We want to be in the light side. He said the force is more joy. It's long lasting. It's there. You have it. You live your life. The dark side is more kind of wanting it and trying to be happy, but not joyful. And the happiness is only temporarily. You get something, you do what you need to do to get it, but then you've got that and that's not making you happy anymore. So you're on to the next thing and the next thing. And then you're so paranoid that people are going to take away your happiness that you start to turn angry and make poor decisions. And you think of us and just everyday people, again, if we're more angered or short-tempered or stressed or tense, a little more into that dark side, then we make poor decisions. We can maybe lash out at people a lot easier. We're too quick to kind of lose our temper. And maybe certain people get to a point where they do certain things to get to where they want to be, and whatever they can to hold on to it. You start to make those poor choices. And again, if you've seen the movies, if you think through some of those stories, you can see that regardless of your opinion of the movies, you can see that from kind of 1 to 3 with Anakin working through, and then 4 to 6 Luke is in that kind of big struggle back and forth, and all the plot twists, and the dark side's trying to draw him in, and the Jedi's are trying to train him, and to keep that perspective of where you want to be, and know kind of what's around us and what energy we need to give off. And the message, watching kind of Luke train with Obi-Wan and Yoda today. Again, I did some research tonight because it was Star Wars based. Trying to keep your mind calm. The message was to let go of your emotions and your feelings, to let your mind be clear. And then you can feel the force around you and use the force to lift the pebbles, or to lift the X-Wing out of the swamp. Whatever it is you're doing, it doesn't matter. It's the energy and the mindset behind it. And I really think that's so applicable to us today, especially with what we have going on. Hey Ian, hope you're doing good, bud. Thanks for hopping on. There's a lot of darkness around us. There's a lot of people with those bad intentions, or just have been sucked into that dark side, and are just very negative, and want things a certain way, and they're going to do what they need to do to get them. And that darkness kind of spews out at everybody. And it's your choice whether you give in and go to the dark side and jump in and have that hatred and that anger in you and spew it out of you, or you try to combat that with light, like we talked about before, or the force, where you have more of that positive energy, that positive outlook. You can kind of disconnect your emotions from things and make educated choices based on information that you have. And again, it's our choice. Both sides are going to kind of struggle with you to try to pull you one way, but you have the ultimate choice, and you have to try to make the good choices to stay more into the light. And when there's that balance, or a little more of us in the light, there's not as much of a force coming from the dark side to bother us. Again, if you think through the movies, when the Jedi and those kind of forces are successful and victorious, then things are better, right? The sky is brighter. There's a couple of moons out that you haven't seen before. There's less fear and anxiety in people around the areas, because they know there's no threat, or the threat is at least minimal. And that's what we talk about here, of being a light, spreading that positive energy, getting that good kindness and positivity out there, that positivity pandemic. It's part of the force, really, of getting good light out there, so that there's less darkness, so the darkness can't come at us and try to draw us in and make us part of their team. We can have our own team over here and keep that balance shifted a little more to our side. But there typically is a bit of both. There's light and dark. That's kind of what makes things go around, I guess. But again, it's up to you to decide what choices you're going to make to be affiliated with what side you want to be affiliated with. And I find, again, I love the movies, the action, and I can just escape in them and watch them for 2.5 hours or whatever they are. But again, I love that message of it. Whenever they talk about the force and what it is, and the good versus evil, light versus dark, and it seems it really is a real life example. Again, even though I know it's a fictional movie, it rings so true right now in what we have going on around us, especially right now. Anytime I've always related to that message. And again, watching a couple clips to get ready for tonight, seeing other people comment that as well, that, this is so true. This is what we're going through. This is life. The Jedi balance of light and dark is what we need to go through each day. So keep in mind that your emotions are a big part of it. So try, if you can, to take emotions out of our big decisions. Use your mind, use your thoughts, get your wits about you, clear your head, come at things with a good perspective, so you can make a well-informed decision. It's not purely based on emotions. We want to check our gut. How does our gut feel about it? What does our heart say? But we don't want to be too emotional going into it. We want to kind of see what emotions almost come out of it, thinking of the different scenarios that we could take in making certain decisions. So keep that in mind. Remember, things like anger can lead to hate. It's that snowball effect that we keep talking about, going the other way as well. If you're always down and upset and ticked off at things, that's just going to snowball and build momentum, and that's going to get into more hatred and more anger and more darkness coming out of you, and you won't even notice the light that's around, because again, you're so sucked into that dark side. And we don't want that. We want you to stay on the side of light. We're all going to have moments again where we kind of drift and wonder, but we want the majority of the time to be with the force, with the light and the positive energy. So if you're bored this weekend, check out a Star Wars movie, or maybe some clips even on YouTube. I searched really quickly and found a couple of clips that just, again, reiterated what we're talking about. But it was really cool. Again, I thought with May the 4th and the energy and the things that we talk about being a lighthouse and spreading positive energy, the positivity pandemic, again, I feel like they really relate to each other so well. So I did want to touch on that. So, and you'll hear those quotes again. If I know a few of you on here watch them and are big fans too, so you'll know the quotes of "search your feelings." You know it's true. Anger, Yoda will say, anger leads to hate. Hate leads to the jealousy and those poor decisions and the dark side. And you can see some of the characters struggling with that all through the movie. And again, in the first three, Luke in 4, 5, 6. And Ray kind of in the last trilogy. And again, it's not a discussion about what you think in the movies, but just thinking of that plot line and that struggle of light versus dark. It's real life. It's every day. And again, you have the choice of what side you want to follow and to get into. And that dark side's really going to try to draw you in. But more darkness won't beat darkness. Only more light will. And when the Jedis get strong and have the rebels behind them and the alliances form and all those things, then that's when they can defeat the dark side. They can defeat the Empire, where more people believe in the Force, or at least the message of the Force, even if it's not the Force specifically, but the idea of positivity and light and making good choices. Thinking of Han Solo coming back to help, spoiler alert, at the end of one of the movies after he had left them because he was done his job. He had a change of heart and realized that there was more of a reward in shedding light and helping good overcome evil than just getting a paycheck for a job well done, or from scavenging from job to job. So again, the choice is yours of what you want to do, what side you want to be on. And you're going to be tested every day, especially right now, given the world we're in, given the technology that we have. These platforms can shed a lot of darkness out at you during the day. So you have to, again, make the choice to either disconnect a little bit, maybe unfollow some of that negative source, block it if you need to, mute it for a few days, or again, just limit your exposure to it as best you can so you don't get sucked into it so much, because it's very easy to do so. And then do your best to put out that positivity, whether it's online in a platform like these. And I know some of you do a great job of that with your daily posts and story shares and things. You put out that positive energy and that positive message, which is awesome. And then interacting with other people, being positive, trying to take emotions out of any discussions you're having, and just give your opinion and let them have their opinion if that's what it is. Hopefully they'll give you the benefit of listening to what you have to say if you're having a discussion about something, not an argument. But if they won't, then I guess that's their loss. You kind of have to try to distance yourself and let it go, and let them do them and you do you to the best of your ability. But what I want for us, again, is to be those beacons of light, those Jedis, if you will, to have that force coming out of us, that good energy, that positivity pandemic spreading throughout your communities. Again, home, work, fitness, internet-based communities, whatever communities you're involved with, we want that positivity to come out of you. So being kind, being polite, laughing, sharing a joke, a smile here and there, reminiscing maybe about good times, trying to keep people, again, in the light and with the force, and not having them drawn over to the dark side. But again, for some people, we can only do so much before they're really drawn in. But we have to try to do our part and be as consistent as we can with what we're doing. And hopefully we can role model that to people around us. And again, it'll catch on. That positivity pandemic, it's contagious. It'll spread to person. The more that you kind of spread it to other people, it works the same way. Not to make light of the pandemic going on, but it's working the same way. If I can spread positivity to you, you have positivity to spread to your environment, to your people around you, and then they can spread it to their communities, and then so on and so on. And it can create that really ripple effect. And again, it's going to take some time and consistency, but over time we can get there where there's lots of positive energy out there, lots of light out there, and less darkness that we have to deal with. So that was the second part I wanted to come in. And if I can find a way to get that clip to play and not have the videos pulled down, I'm going to play it another time. I'm going to look into it. I saw something this morning, some discussions about copywriting and a message you could put on for certain things, but I'm not sure how this works from a movie, even though it's on YouTube and someone else has it posted. I'm not sure how that works. So we'll look into it, but it's a really good clip. With, again, George Lucas explaining the Force, even if you're interested. Google or search that at YouTube, and it should come up. It was like Star Wars Coffee or something was the kind of the program, and it's a 5-minute clip of him talking about it. And even if you don't like Star Wars per se, just listening to what he says and explaining the Force and the dark side, again, you'll see how it relates to everyday life and what we're doing right now as we're going through. Ironag83, good evening, welcome. So again, that's the Star Wars portion. May the 4th be with you. Revenge of the 5th was this week. So I wanted to tie in a little bit of Star Wars. And since we didn't meet Wednesday, again, I posted a From the Vault episode. I wanted to touch on it tonight for that. Because again, I do think it's really ties in together. So if you're a fan, haven't watched them in a while, again, maybe go look at some clips or maybe block yourself a little you time and check one of them out. Where again, they'll explain the Force and how it works and the balance between the two. I saw Obi-Wan from A New Hope, Yoda from Empire Strikes Back was in it as well, and then I saw Luke explain it a little bit to Rey in the new series. So again, there's different perspectives to come at it with, but all have the same message. And again, that George Lucas clip is really well done as well. So hopefully you'll check some of that out. And again, try to be more like a Jedi, less like a Sith. Spread that good positivity and that good energy out around you. And lastly, I just wanted to touch on mental health. Kind of ties into that a little bit with, again, positivity and good mindset and trying to kind of clear your mind and take emotions away, whether that's meditation or some deep breath work or just movement, getting things out of your system a little bit so you can have that clear mind. This week was Mental Health Awareness Week, as Bonnie would have heard last night. I mentioned on the 3 Not So Wise Men and a Much Wiser Lady, our Thursday night show that I'm on. Again, we post the links here on my profile on Facebook, so you can check us out or look up at 4 Wise Ones on Facebook. That's our show page where we broadcast from and have different content there as well. So a little plot, I don't have my plug with me, but maybe Bonnie can throw a couple in the chat. But this week was Mental Health Awareness Week. I know it's Friday, we're heading to the end of it, but I wanted to touch base and just remind you that because unfortunately it's been neglected and not mentioned nearly enough, how important physical fitness, physical activity, exercise, and those are all kind of 3 different avenues, they're not really the same, are important for your mental health. And how important it is to maintain some sort of movement program, whether that's just going for a walk every day, whether it's doing a little physical activity around the house, some gardening, some yard work, maybe cleaning up a room or something, or into an actual fitness routine where you're trying to improve your strength and your cardiovascular capacity, your heart and your lungs, and your mind, as well as those muscles. Those all have benefits to your mental health and help you, if nothing else, maybe manage some of the things you have going on. Again, in looking up some things for today, it wasn't just Star Wars. I did look at other stuff too. I found an article on WebMD talking about fitness, exercise, and depression. And the first thing they kind of say in their list is regular exercise has been proven to, and they kind of give a list of things. And the first 2 are reduce stress, and the second one is ward off anxiety and feelings of depression. Those are the first 2 benefits they mentioned. Not a smaller waistline or bigger arms or a booty or whatever people are looking for. It was reduce stress and ward off feelings of anxiety and depression. Now, again, this was an article about depression, but still the next 2 are boost self-esteem and improve sleep, which tie into that as well. And then they get into more of the physical benefits of helps your heart, your energy levels, lowers blood pressure, muscle tone and strength and endurance, helps your bones be stronger, helps lower your fat, and helps you look fit and healthy. And that's the last one, notice, not the first one. So think of why it is you're being involved in your exercise programs. But I just wanted to say that again to Soy Must Fit. Good evening. Hopefully I got your names right. I'm not very good at reading these handles for some reason. But good evening. Thanks for hopping on. The reason I wanted to mention it again, I feel like our officials haven't mentioned nearly enough the importance of physical activity, physical fitness. It's always been lock down, stay home, do what you need to do, unless you need exercise. It's kind of an afterthought now in some of the, and at least here in Ontario, some of the stay-at-home orders and restrictions that we have on, it is finally mentioned there. You can leave the house if you need to do exercise, but it should have been there all along, and it should be leave the house to do exercise every day or to do movement every day because our bodies need that. So just a quick kind of review of the benefits of physical activity, how it helps you manage stress and your mental health, because again, it is so important for us. We're dealing with a pandemic, stay-at-home orders, lockdowns, curfews, restrictions on our day-to-day activities. It's been a struggle for us mentally, as well as physically and physically draining. So just really quickly and really simple, when you exercise or when you're active, even, it doesn't have to be sweating for 3 hours exercise. Going for a nice walk can do the same thing. Doing some stretching can be the same thing. The intensity doesn't have to be super huge. It can be, and we'd like to have some of that in there to help our heart and our lungs and our muscles improve and get stronger. But at least, at bare minimum, get some activity and get some movement in every day. People say movement is medicine. So if we move more, it helps our body get better, helps our immune system feel better. And from that mental health component, what it does is there's different hormones that release in the body. Most common one you've heard of is probably endorphins. You hear that runner's high for some people when they get into a big run. Eventually, they don't feel it as much. They feel good, almost like a second wind. You've probably heard it talk about or called. That second wind is kind of from the endorphins being released. And we don't notice maybe the fatigue we feel as much because some of those receptors are a little dulled or a little numbed. So we can push a little harder and keep going because we don't feel that feeling of being really tired and fatigued. So there's that and a few other hormones that release in the body to help us actually de-stress while we're exercising. Because again, they block some of the pain receptors, they numb them a little bit, and there's different things flowing through to help us circulate blood and clear the mind, get oxygen to where we need it, and all those hormones and the processes help us de-stress. So reason one why we should be getting at least some basic movement in every day. Reason two that I like to come from, the approach I like to take, and others do too, but again, this is just my approach, is that when you're moving, exercising, being active, by focusing on the activity you're doing, you shut out all that outside garbage. You shut off that dark side, like we talked about earlier. You stay within. You're at the force. Again, it starts from within, works its way out. It's all the energy keeping us together. So as you're going for a walk, be mindful of the walk. Are your arms swinging? Is your posture tall? Are you breathing regularly? Maybe it's faster than normal because you're moving, obviously, but is it a good rate? Is it even? Is it smooth? Is your core braced? Do you feel any aches and pains? Are you moving? Could you pick up the pace a little bit? Are you going at a good pace that you want to? Or are you maybe going a little too slow or too fast? And we have to modify those things. If you're doing a fitness class or in the weight room, focus on the muscles you're trying to work. If I'm doing a bicep curl, I'm thinking of that bicep, lifting and lowering the weight down, working both ways. If I'm doing a multi-joint movement like we did this morning in Full Body Friday, I'm thinking of the muscles I'm trying to use in the sequence I'm trying to use them, both on the way up and on the way back, so that there's more activation. And as I'm focused again inward, I can't focus so much on what's going on out here. And that, to me, that is a huge, huge help that help us relieve our stress and have a little bit of mental health break for even that 10, 20 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever your activity is. And it may not be the whole time, but even those little bits here and there can all add up and make a huge difference and help us feel a lot better. So when you're exercising, be aware, be conscious. I have a lot of participants, I won't say clients, but participants at classes I used to teach that thought, oh, it's fitness. Patrick's the instructor. I can just come in, I can glaze over. I don't have to think, I don't have to do anything because he's planning the class. I can just follow along. And then I come up and say, okay, stand on one foot or get on a Bosu or use tubing or have a ball in one hand and this in the other, and think about what you're doing. And it throws them all for a loop. But in doing so, we're making our mind-muscle connection stronger and smarter so that we can respond to life challenges, but also we're de-stressing. We're shutting the door. We've talked here so much about focus. We're bringing the focus internal first to make sure we're taking really good care of ourselves, to make sure we're performing at a high level. And that, again, shuts the doors to the outside world and gives this guy just a little chance to come down. And if you've been with us, I mentioned before our fight or flight response, how we're designed to have kind of a red zone, high level alert when we're in danger or we're stressed or we're chasing that fight or flight. Either we're getting out of town to be safe or we're attacking something. It's a caveman instinct that we've had for centuries that hasn't really evolved. We still have it. That little anxiety you get before you maybe public speaking, that's a little bit of that kind of kicking in. So there's different responses. Well, we're meant to go in that zone when we need to and come out of it when we don't need to be in it. It's supposed to be temporary. But because we have these wonderful pieces of technology, we get alerts and pings and this and that all the time, and the news is blaring things at us, and we have all these things going on in our life. A lot of people spend a lot of time up here. We don't get that recovery that we need. So if you think of the fitness and the focusing on what you're doing, it gives you those little breaks to at least come down to maybe a yellow. Maybe you're not green, but maybe you're a yellow versus a red. That's still less stress on the body. That's time for the body to recover, to repair, to regenerate, which it needs. If you're always up here, it doesn't have time to recover from that stress. And that's when it can lead, you notice, maybe extra inflammation or some chronic pains or things that just aren't right. And then we make poor decisions because we're in that high level zone. We're stressed, we're over anxious, we're tight, we're tense. The body's struggling to recover itself and the mind to recover themselves. So we get into those poor choices, and then those choices can become poor habits. So again, what we want to do for the benefit of the workout, but also for that mental health break, is turn the focus within. Really be conscious of the workouts you're doing. Don't just put on music and zone out. Zone into the workout. Put music on for sure to give you that motivation, that inspiration, that high energy, but then zone in to you. Don't zone out to the workout. Zone into you. Be so aware of your movements, your muscles that are involved, your balance. Notice if things are a little off. Maybe something's not as efficient as it should be. Be aware of what you're doing so you can create good habits. You can get the most out of your workout, and again, get that mental health break that we all need in general. But especially now with everything going on, we need that time to bring ourselves down just a little bit. And again, have some focus on ourselves, make ourselves the priority that we deserve to be. So that again, we can better help those around us because we're in a better place mentally. We feel good about ourselves. We've come down and had that time to de-stress even just a little bit. And then again, you can take some of these skills that maybe you're learning in the class, take them into everyday life, where if you're feeling a little stressed, maybe you bring that focus inward, zone in, focus on some breathing. Maybe you can do a little stretch at your desk or go for a walk around the block on a lunch break to get out and get away from things for a little bit, come back with fresh perspectives in the afternoon. So again, we use the way of the Jedi. We take the emotions away. We don't get too consumed with those emotions. We come at things with a clear heart, a clear mind, and then we can make better decisions going through what we have to do to get through the day. So again, a lot of people separate fitness or exercise or movement activity from day-to-day life, jobs and tasks and things, but it should be the opposite. They should intertwine. And that's why operationally fit for me is so important for you. It helps you be fit to fight the daily battles that life throws your way. You can handle the stresses that come with you, whether it's mental stress, physical stress, something unexpected, some deadline you have to meet that you didn't know or that got moved up. Okay, I take a moment, I zone in, I breathe, and then I can go back and get back on track and come at it with a clear mind. I take the emotions away from it, of the frustration I just felt. And then again, that's easier on our system, mentally, our physical system, which again intertwines, it all works together. So we can have good health up here, we can have good health here as well. And then the two help each other regulate. So for so often, physical fitness was just what we did, only physical training. That was to be healthy. But it's so the opposite. Mental health is such a huge part of that as well. Health, being healthy, is physically, mentally, spiritually healthy, financially healthy. Relationships are healthy. You're getting good sleep. You're getting good nutrition. You're hydrating as much as you should be, which reminds me, I got excited and talking and I wasn't. So all those things intertwine. So we need to be aware and conscious of it. And we can bring our awareness to a new level in our workouts. Then again, things are more automatic outside of our workouts. So when life happens and something comes your way unexpectedly, because you practice being aware and conscious of movements and in your muscles, then you can react to what's going on. what happens to you in real life and respond to it, perform at a high level, and reduce the risk of injury, which is our ultimate goal for each other. Have a good quality of life, less chance of injury, no fear of being injured, maybe. So we can be more relaxed. If we're fear intense about being injured and hurt, chances are we'll get hurt because we're so tight and tense. But if we can relax and have confidence in ourselves, like we said, we build our confidence in our activities, like we read here on our list, because you get into that loop, you succeed, you go through different challenges. And then you can take that confidence into helping you be relaxed and confident in your abilities. Again, you perform at a high level, you'll be in that zone more often of high performance, and again, that low risk of injury. So again, I know we went through a lot tonight. I want to wrap up and not take up too much more of your time. Thanks for sticking in. Those that did. Again, if you're on the replay, be sure to comment as well. We love hearing from you and what your thoughts are of the chip challenge, the Force, or Star Wars talk, and again, that mental health awareness. And again, knowing this was Mental Health Awareness Week, a reminder, like we always mention, if you need something, please reach out. If it's a friend, if it's a family member, if it's professional help that you need, don't be afraid, don't be shy, don't be embarrassed. That's what they're there for. They're a life coach, just like I'm a coach for you fitness-wise. They're a coach for your mental health, making sure you're mentally strong. And again, that's going to help all the other facets as well. So if you're having tough times, if you're not feeling yourself, if it's been a long 13, 14 months, which it has been, again, if you need something, reach out to somebody that you can trust and talk to and get things out. Chat with them, talk about it, find strategies. And sometimes just a chat with a friend gives you that break for a moment and brings you from red to yellow, and then things have a better perspective about them. And if you can spend more time in even just yellow and less in red, that'll make a difference. And then over time, let's try to get down to green and a little bit of yellow and a tiny bit of red zone when we need to. And again, we can make better decisions. We think better. We're more clear-headed. We can perform better. We can recover better. We make better choices. Again, you can see how all those cogs in the wheel basically work together. But if one cog's broken, the wheel's not going to be as strong as it was. It's not going to perform the way we need it to. So take care of all those components. As I say, though, pick the one that's going to make the most difference for you health-wise. Focus on that. That'll start the other ones too, and then you can shift your focus when you're ready. But again, Mental Health Awareness Week, anytime, not just this week, but anytime, be aware of your surroundings. Reach out if you need to reach out to somebody. If you think you need to reach out to someone because maybe they need the help, please do so. And even if you don't, just go through sometimes and reach out to some of your friends, someone you haven't talked to in a long time, and say hello. And even though they seem strong on the outside, they could be the one dealing with things the most. And as some of us have mentioned in discussions on Three Wise Men and here, sometimes if you're the person reaching out because you think that person needs help, you think your friend needs help and you reach out and they do, you reaching out to them helps you feel better as well because you've helped them de-escalate what was going on or de-stress or forget, and you feel good about doing that as well and having that connection. And sometimes it can help you just as much or even more than it could help them. So again, reach out, use the support systems that are around you, reach out to people that you need to. And if you're not sure of who, again, look up, research people online, reach out to me. If you're not sure, I can try to point you in the right direction of who to reach out to help yourself. And that's what we want to do. No one should do it alone. Again, just like I'm here to help with your fitness and overall wellness. If there's mental health stuff you need to work through, then again, you find a coach that specializes in that. And then we become a team where I work on the fitness side, a little bit of just that basic mental health, coping and structure. And then they dive deep into the mental health and helping you through these situations. So again, we create a really high performer. Hey, and that's, thanks for hopping on, a very high performing version of yourself. So reach out to people if you need it. And again, if you think they need it, reach out to someone. Just reach out to people. Physical distance, I finally hear it now being called physical distancing, not social. And that's what it should have been from the beginning. We need our 6 feet or 2 meters between each other, but we should be socially connected. And there's so many tools right now that we can use. Use them. Skype someone, FaceTime them, set up a StreamYard, go on Instagram and a video chat. You can do that in the messengers. Now you can do a room in Facebook Messenger where you can have a bunch of people in a room talking. I do a meeting that way with the group I'm in. It works great. It looks like a Skype or a Zoom session, but you're all together in the space. So there's so many ways you can call someone. Remember the old-fashioned way? You just say hello and talk into the phone. You could call them, write them a letter. But let's reach out to some people. Let's help each other get through this. Let's spread that positivity, that force out. So again, the dark side, the darkness, the negativity can stay at bay and stay to the side and keep that balance shifted where there's more light than dark, so we can all have a positive, healthy, happy lifestyle that we all deserve. So again, thanks so much for being here, everybody. Again, a little longer episode tonight, but with all those topics to get in, I didn't want to rush too much. So again, thanks for being here. Have a wonderful weekend. May the force be with you. Again, reach out if you need someone. If you're feeling down and out of things and not sure where to turn, reach out to someone you trust. Get that help you need, even just to get something off your chest sometimes. Maybe that'll help you get the ball rolling and realize that, you know what, I need to find some different ways to manage this, and or someone to help me manage what I'm going through right now. So all the best. Take good care of yourself. That's the onus is on us now to take good care of ourselves, because you've seen what the powers that be can do with us. The decisions aren't great, changing all the time, not a good direction. Not mentioning, again, physical activity and fitness and how important it is as preventative medicine for an immune disease like we're going through right now. So take the onus of yourself. Take it in your hands to take care of yourself as good as you can, to try to keep yourself in a good position to not have to deal with what's going on. Or if you do, hopefully it's a little less severe. And unfortunately, when the next thing comes, notice I didn't say if, but when the next thing comes, whatever it is, you're better apt to handle it. So again, thanks for being here, everyone. Have a wonderful night. I'll see some of you in a couple hours for the Breakfast Club on Twitch. All 80s music was starting from scratch. If you want to have an 80s party with us tonight, Natty's going to be there in the chat with me. We're moderators for it. But again, find something you like to do. There's music, there's movies, there's performances, there's a whole variety of stuff. Find something you like to do to get that escape. Have some fun this weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Stay focused with your goals. Stay on track. If you need to reach out, please reach out anytime, and I'll help however I can help you. Again, stay tuned for our fitness, our kind of 2.0 version of the virtual fitness platform coming soon. Sunrise Strong, if you're in the Barrie area, coming soon as well. Have a wonderful night, a great weekend. Try to smile a little bit, use the force, and remember, always make yourself the priority you deserve to be by striving to be operationally fit. Have a great night, gang. We'll talk to you soon.